Good afternoon, my family members, my friends, and all people that me, Eritreans and Ethiopians, obviously. Uh, Today, I will speak about memory, collective memory, individual memory, because this was kind of like provoked or inspired by the Eritrean news saying the Chinese diplomats are training Eritreans about international relations. So I was kind of like a bit ambivalent about curious. I was curious at the same time a bit kind of angry because the Chinese people have got their own interests, my friend. Okay, they want to sell. This is customer service. They want to sell their Confucius kung fu kind of karate. Their faith, their values, their religion, their discipline, their economy, their language, everything. Well, it's good to have good communication and working relations with the Chinese people, but obviously, this is about Eritrean and Ethiopian matters, and it should be the Eritreans and the Ethiopians who should do the customer service skills, my friend, to sell our values, our economy, our tourism, our sea, our villages, our language, our looks, yeah, our intellect, our linguistic skills, our flexibility, our talents in relation to the global people with Africans and Europeans, Chinese, Indians, the Latinos, the Europeans, Indians, everyone, So it should be the Eritreans training Eritrean diplomats, foreign diplomats or local diplomats, how it's done to sell our products, which is our services, diplomacy, the know-hows, the skills, the diplomatic skills, and our music, our art, our poetic skills, my friend, our jokes, our comedy, our fun, our dances, everything in life. So that's customer service skills, my friend. It's a marketing, it's advertising to the whole world. You tell them, my friend, this is Eritrea, this is how we do it, okay? Then we mingle with all the people, the European women, all the friends, the colleagues, everything, my friend. It's not the Chinese people training you that, my friend. They sell their stuff. It's good to have good working relationship with the Chinese people, but obviously their first priority is their values, my friend. Do you hear me? So it was inspired by the Chinese foreign ministry training Eritreans, which is good, no problem. I'm not against that, but obviously it should be the Eritreans doing the job. Our service, my friend, okay? We do have a lot of talented Eritreans who could fill that gap. I am amongst one of these people, okay? Because I've been writing this for 20 something years, my friend, okay? Don't you dare embarrass me. So, Mr. Chinese ambassador, not against you, I'm against my own people who invite such a thing. How dare they? So today I want to discuss about memory. Okay, memory. What's memory? Memory in Eritrea, we do have our own individual family memories, clan memories, ethnic memories, regional memories, collective national memories, and that has been handed over to us from our grandparents for centuries, my friend, for millennia, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, more than that. Have you seen the Sanaave, the Metara Stele? That's a government official memory that has been passed to us so that we can speak in Tigrinya. Well, it's really completely interlinked with the Yemenite Arabic script, the writing system, and everything. And of course, because Yemen was part of us and we were part of that as well. We got a lot of similarities. More or less, we are brothers and sisters. Can you believe that? Like, it's not just like you wouldn't consider them as enemies. They are our brothers and sisters. We do have a lot of looks. Almost 50 to 70% of our Tigrinya words are completely the same thing like Arabic. Can you believe it? Our similarities, our commonalities are more than our dissimilarities, than our contention, than our differences. So this diplomatic thing, memory. I want to find out because when people enslave all these Africans for 300 years, 400 years, my friend, what they do is they wipe out your collective memory, your individual memory, something that you pride on, something that you say, hey, that's mine, that's my village, my friend, that's my roots, okay, that's my clan, that's my mountain, that's my village, my parents plant, where they graze their animals, everything. That's memory, that's individual memory, that's ethnic level memory. And we do have collective memory as well, like our national heritage. Have you heard about the English heritage? They document every bit of their history about their architecture, their churches, their monasteries, every relic that they have, even their language. They do have major, big archive of libraries, digital, physical. That's the problem when we Eritreans, we are really careless, obviously you need a lot of awareness, education, training to our people, how important it is. So this is memory, my friend. You don't joke with memory, okay? Any moron, national soldier, leader, general can come to your place and, take you as a hostage, as a slaves, people, they don't know their memory, they don't know their ancestral roots. They don't know their family history up all to 20 people, one layers, that's called heritage, inheritance. What do you do when you're passing, when you leave this world? You inherit your physical wealth. It could be a house, it could be a plot of land, it could be any saving that you have for your kids, isn't it? It could be for your cats, or maybe it could be for your dog, whoever you love too. Your wife, your kids, everything, and you inherit that name as well. So with inheritance, it's not a joke, my friend. Okay, you give that to your kids, your memory, your heroism of your parents, your clan, your nation, all. We do have so many heroes in our country, my friend, and it's not documented. We don't pass it on to our kids. What we know is just only this general. Eritrea is not just only this 100 years. 2000, more than that, my friend. We do have so much heritage, it's exactly like the English heritage in all these European countries, that they meticulously work so hard to document every bit of it. They're so serious. You don't joke with that thing because you're just messing so many uh, uh, new generations' lives because of our carelessness, negligence, we just take it for granted, and we are so much complacent. Memory, this slavery, we talk so much uh, anti-slavery movement, like we say civil rights movements, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, all the people from the past, and we don't say how we can save our memory, my friend, especially we Eritreans, Ethiopians, our ancestors are really fighters, okay? So coming to the memory, when I was a kid, I think when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, I remember in my village, my parents, especially my uncle and my grandma, used to make me sit on her lap and teach me the prayers of Basma word of Escudus means our heaven who art in heaven. That's in Giz. She didn't teach me in Tigrinya. You know why? Because Giz is what binds us. We Eritreans, the Tigrinya speaking people, the Tigray people back in the south, they are our brothers, don't forget. The Gondar people, the Shoa people, the Gojam people, the Woloye people, all the Shoa people, the whole people, we speak the same language, my friend. That's our heritage. That's like English heritage, my friend, okay? The same thing that what they call the Commonwealth countries. These are our Commonwealth. inheritance, okay? That's our heritage. We value so much with pride, with power, with real lot of pride. I'm so much proud of it. I don't want to change all our church services into Tigrinya. I want it to be good so that we have more power in the south, my friend. Any attacking come, any attacking enemy comes from China, from Japan, from Europe, England, France, Italy. Hey, they come jumping, my friend, because there's no joke. Enemy comes from the Red Sea, from us. We are at the forefront of the enemy line. We are in a really hot spot, my friend. Okay, little problem happens to us, well, Ethiopians are dead as well. So there's no joke, my friend. Okay, so this is heritage, something that you pride on so much. So I wanted to stay in this. Well, allow my Tigrinya, my friend. Okay, but if you're trying to be so minimalistic and you lose all the link, the bond that you have with brothers and sisters back in the south, in Tigray, in Gondar, Wollo, Gojam, Shoa, all Ethiopia, you are that really tiny, negligent, not significant. Any enemy can come and just destroy you, trample you on. They sell you as a slave to Europe, to China, to India, Far East, my friend. It's no joke. That's heritage. You get me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be kind of trying to belittle people, but obviously this is a really serious thing, my friend. This means a lot of thing for us. So the reason why my grandmom, from my mom's side and from my dad's side, and my uncle, he's a priest, he used to teach me, and my my the brother of my dad, brother as well, they were teaching me the prayers. Basma Molo Faskudus, who art in heaven, our Father who art in heaven. Okay, then after that, the Salame Kudus Gabriel, then Abra Zabasmat means the same thing. So we are learned. There is another prayers as well. My mom and her sisters, everything they go through that my memory, by memory. You don't use laptop, not a PC, computer, not a calculator, not a book. You memory, my friend. You memory. Our memory, our brain, has got so much capacity to store information. If you are so much hardworking and you look after it, otherwise, if you depend on yourself and you become so disabled, use all this machinery, you lose your brain. Okay, you don't have memory. All this research that they do at Microsoft, all these printing processors, all the Silicon Valley, they did all this research on the sand, then they melt it and they storage all the information. That's why you have this Google, YouTube, all these super computers, storing and retaining so much trillions of data, where trillions is really small. So you have like a big chunk of rooms where they manage all this audio, video, textual, moving pictures, everything. That's memory. Our brain has got the same thing. Our brain made a computer, a calculator, all this machinery, airplanes, everything. So we have to use it. Memory, my friend. When you enslave people, what you do is you wipe out their memory, their names. Eob, Solomon, that's my name, authentic name, my friend, that my parents gave me. That's memory. When you slave, what they do is they take you away to London. They tell you, "Hey, Mr. T, your name is really funny, long one. Oh, what does it mean?" You see, that's memory, my friend. Oh, madam, Mr. Told that brand means a son is born out of this sunshine kind of thing. You just have to show off. So memory, an enemy, if they try to enslave you, they wipe out your memory. The name of your village, the name of your ancestors, they belittle and tell you, you're just crap, you are just really dirty people, you're not educated, So keep your memory. That's slavery. If they enslave you for 300 years ago, for 300 years, you don't have the memory linked to your ancestors. You don't know what's going on in your village back home. So what they give you is, now we have modern thing, this genome project, If you want to find out your roots back in Africa, you want to go out and research because they want to confuse you. That's mental depression, my friend. Okay. There are two mental problems. Number one is if you got a problem, trauma, pain in your memory, that's a mental problem. If you got all this accumulated for 300 years, 400 years, pain and trauma, my friend, that's another mental health. Okay. So in memory, what it retains, retention is only pain, suffering, trauma, from trauma to trauma. That's what our ancestors fought so much. Nobody messes up with us, my friend. The one I uploaded, our ancestral genealogy, kind of heritage name. I asked and researched up until 17 layers of heritage, inheritance, our names, my name, my surname, my grand name, dad name, everything, 17, that's memory, okay? So having we raised the memory, so that is the reason why my grandma, my priest, uncle, all the family were teaching me the prayers at such an early stage was to retain my memory, everything about our culture, our value, our faith, our language, the way we speak. I'm talking, in English, in my language, in your mother language, in your dad language, my friend, okay? So my aunts and my mom, sisters, they used to have a prayers that they were reciting, memorizing, retaining in their brain. Like, they said that so they had Solota Soni, Solota Solus, Solota Robert, Solota Hamus, Solota Abi, all the way. They go so high until the priesthood kind of level. This is how much disciplined we are in retaining our memory so that no people can make us slaves, mess up with us, with our identity, with our values. That will take me, so this is the thing in Ge'ez, the language that we use in Tigray, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, Gondar, Gwejam, Wollo, Shoa, the whole of Ethiopia. That's Ge'ez. So I want to keep that, my friend, okay? We don't have to lazy about, we don't have to be lazy. We have studied, use it. Like, we have to work so hard. The same way the Europeans, like, they have their Latin. They study that, they learn German, they learn Italian. It's more or less the same thing, okay? All these French language, Italian, English, the base of the languages are the same, Latin, okay? Then drive out of that came another different kind of like, family members of that root. So the same thing with Giz. Giz as like our Latin, like our base language that all we nations, Eritrea, Ethiopia, all the clans, we use it. And we have that derived from that Tigrinya, Amharic, but still family member of Giz. So we need that in our memory, embedded within ourselves so that we don't get slaves, my friend. Okay, so that's memory. So because I do have a target, I do have a point. My point is we Eritreans and Ethiopians, we were receiving popes from Alexandria. Well, Alexandria, when Christianity came, there was this Council of Nice in Turkey now. Well, there's another city called Nice in Italy, near France, very famous, really near the sea. It's not that, but in Greece, ancient Greece, Byzantine, but in today modern Constantinople. No, I mean in Turkey. That was the initial center of the power of Christianity under Constantine the Great. So Constantine was an emperor, and the city became Constantinople after his name. Then later, after Islam came, they called Istanbul. So evolution of all the names. So when Constantine, Emperor Constantine came to power, he was victorious. He's a Western Roman citizen. I think it's somewhere from Pompeii, somewhere near in Italy. So he won the war, defeating the Eastern kind of emperor. So he made his seat, government seat in Constantinople. So after that, he gathered all the Christian denomination popes, I think 325 of them. So from Alexandria, Egypt, okay, or Ethiopia, Eritrea, everywhere, Libya, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, all the nations, 325 popes. They sat down together and they did all their guides as one church. That time there was no such called Roman Catholic Church or Coptic Church or Russian Church or whatsoever. They were one Christianity. So they sat down together. They agreed on issues, and I'll show you in a minute. And after that, they put the liberationists and resolutionists what is going to happen for future, because it has to be unified, kind of like purposeful empires, big empire, really hard to manage it. If you got really footing, kind of like conflicting each other, small nations. So they wanted proper, efficient, smooth running machine, government machine. So that was the religion. We were as part of that. So after the resolution, after the agreement, what came was the Oloto Haymanot that we have, we as Eritreans and Ethiopians, that we still recite and try always pray every morning, in the morning, in the evening before we go to bed, and in every day. So that's the history of it. So that's in 325. I don't know how many popes. I think there are 324 popes. And the year was 325. Can you believe it? UK was kind of like a really, maybe enemies or maybe kind of like a barbaric state. I'm not sure. So don't hold me against it. I'm not saying bad thing. But we were Christians with the rest of Europe. I think Ireland at that time sent their delegates. I'm not sure, but they received Christianity a bit late after us. So that time was Aksumite Kingdom. I'm not sure. I think, and we had really very good partnership with Europe. So that's why we had all these our popes attending the meeting, and they adopted the resolutionists and the decisionists and the outcomes. Then after that, what we have is the Tzolot Haymanot, Tzolot Haymanot, all the people. I'll show in a minute from my clip. So as you can see, this is if you go to Wikipedia, it's called the First Council of Nicaea. So these are the outcomes, Nicaea Creed. Okay, so this is the Tzolot Haymanot. Okay, so the council formulated creed, a declaration in summary of the Christian faith. Okay, so this is a uniform prayer that we do Tzolot Haymanot. We call it Tzolot Haymanot. That's our prayer. So this is the foundation of the whole Christendom. Okay, so these are some of the laws for the church leaders, the promulgation of canon laws. So these are laws where some number one, for example, if you can see the example, it says prohibition of self-castration for clergy, establishment of a minimum for I don't know, as a person studying for baptism, and the other one is a SERP, like interest rate should be not encouraged. Okay, the other one, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. The other one was to accept Jerusalem as honorary rights of the See of Jerusalem. And so how many do you have? 20 of canon laws for the whole of the church Christendom. Okay, so this is our proof memory as Christians, as part of this global Christian people partnership. We had a really stable relationship with Europe. It was later when they became Nazi, trying to be the driving seat of controlling other people, that got the whole world into a mess. That's the problem, my friend. If you try to enslave people, they're gonna fight back. Nobody wants to be slave, my friend. Nobody wants to be controlled. So that's the one. I just wanna, because this is memory, my friend. Okay, this is our memory. Nobody should take that away. Our prayers using Tigrinya, You don't see people in Europe now practicing religion. I mean, obviously, it's a negative. It's a negative thing, but this is our phase, my friend. We are brought up from such an early stage, from 3 years old, 4 years old, brought up, raised in really strict discipline, doing all the prayers, not doing any bad stuff, not any naughty stuff. Okay, see this cholo time, man. We pray always before we eat food. We wash our hands. That's discipline, my friend. We pray. We pray to our Lord, our God, who rules the whole universe. Okay, us, the skies, the waters, the air we breathe, the water, the sea. You know, the birds that he guards and feeds. We pray. Okay, so this is called discipline, my friend. You don't see that in Europe, my friend. Okay, they lost it. I think they used to have that in the past. So this is our memory, our collective memory, like that makes us really civilized people, extremely disciplined people. Our kids are inculcated this memory from such an early stage. Every kid in Eritrea, they are extremely very disciplined, my friend. Okay, you wouldn't see them harassing other people or being very aggressive. Extremely disciplined people. They speak English. Can you believe it? Like, you know, every Eritrean kid going to school, they speak English, my friend. It's not a joke. If you go to any other European countries, they all speak English, my friend. But in Eritrea, they speak. Obviously, the accent is not like the Queen English in UK, but they speak proper English. They communicate with you. You wouldn't have any problem communicating with them. That's discipline, my friend. That's a phrase. That's a discipline. That's how we brought up with all this memory, dignity. Okay, extremely civilized people, not not criminals. You know, not gang culture or this gang culture of this youth. City terrorists that you find them really scary sometimes, you know, not on this cannabis selling and everything. I mean, so this is collective memory, okay? Collective, individual. Every Eritrean is brought up in such a manner that we are disciplined diplomats of our nation, our community, you know, our Eritreanness. This is our collective memory. So if you try to say, hey, you guys are gonna be slaves, you are a slave, my friend. Undisciplined, really corrupt, backward, moron. You don't have no guidance, you don't have no ethics. Okay? Usually those people who try to enslave other people are internally slaves because they do have this inferior complex. They try to portray and exert and, you know, try to implement on other people because they are so lazy, number one. Number two, they got their own pain inside. Usually, if people are really comfortable with themselves, they wouldn't try to be aggressive to other people because there's no need for such a thing, my friend. They are content with themselves. They wouldn't try to harass and control other people because there's no need for them. Extremely civilized, my friend. With a lot of dignity, very civilized, highly educated. Educated with ethics, discipline, faith, my friend. Respect of other nations, other human beings, animals, every nature. The problem when you come to Europe, that disease comes into your mind. Not us, we Eritreans, Ethiopians, but you know. So our kids back home, this is how they are raised. If you see them really disciplined in London streets, it's not because they are meek or scared. It's because of that self-discipline. Okay, that's memory. Okay. So memory, we got into a trouble at one case, at one instance. That was when this moron, Ahmed Grai of Somalia, came invading our nation, Eritrea and Ethiopia. He destroyed all the records in our countries, you know, destroyed all the national treasures, our records, our books for so many thousand years, you know, our establishment, our institution, everything. So Fasilides, who I think he was the emperor of Ethiopia, of Abyssinia, he requested help from the Portuguese. That time Europe was ruled and managed by the Pope. And all these nations in Europe, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Germany, all of them, they were under the Roman Catholic Pope. So Vasco da Gama came, I think it was his brother, Vasco da Gama, and like, you know, they defeated Ahmed Grai and we came back to normality. But that's the problem with Europeans. They want to be on the driving seat, controlling the other people. Just that was the time when the Western Africa, Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria got into slavery a bit, some say maybe about 10, 20 years. That's when they started slavery as an official trade market. But we were resisting. Anyway, I will come back to that point. So because of this trauma, Sosthenes was kind of like shifting around, Oromo, and I think he wanted to defend his dominion in Gondar and Gojam area. So he was fighting with these Oromo people in southern Ethiopia. And I think he did have that kind of trauma from the past from Fasilides. So he did call the Portuguese people and the Spanish, I think. So he had in mind these people are going to give him partnership in terms of partnership in military, economically, culturally. As you can see already, as the agreement of the first council of the Nicaea, that's all these Christian nations getting together. That's partnership. Okay, you go all cultural, traditional, phase, everything, economical, military, pact, cooperation, partnership. So having that in mind, Sosthenes converted his religion into Catholicism upon by the advice and instruction of the Portuguese person. Okay, so Mendes, Alfonso Mendes, converted, and he came to Ethiopia. I think they were so all these Portuguese people, they were based in near Lake Tana called Gorgora. Okay, I'll show. So this is Gorgora near Lake Tana in Ethiopia. So he gave them a lot of big chunk of land to as their provision, as their food, means of living, and so that Gorgora is what the Europeans call bastardization. They like this bastard name. We call ourselves really beautiful people, not bastards. So they were saying like, bastardization of this word Grigori the Eliminator, like, so it's called Golgotha. So this Sosthenes gave them so it's a name, they saying the name Gregoria is the Ethiopic bastardization of the Greek name. I don't know what it is. Gregorios, the city is named after the 4th century saint and church father Gregory the Illuminator, who is a prominent figure in Ethiopian Orthodox theology. So, Renes of the Church of Jesus. So these Jesus, I think they are French missionaries. I'm not sure they're Portuguese or French. So he gave them big land to stay there, live there, and they converted him. Okay, following me. So what happened was, all the Ethiopian masses, the Abyssinian people, the northern part of Ethiopia, which includes Eritrea at that time, because Sosthenes was around the Brevisan as well, So this Gorgora area, they have that place called Debrecina. Debrecina is somewhere in Eritrea, in around Karan. A lot of people say the nativity, Jesus Christ when he was a kid, and Saint Mary were there. A lot of people say that. So that's the first area of all Christian monastery in Eritrea, very famous. That's number one in the whole of Africa. So they call this area around this Gorgora Debrecina. So you have these both things. So these Portuguese, they converted the head of the state, my friend, an emperor. Never happened in the history of Ethiopia, or Abyssinia at that time was called. So what happened was, he wanted military partnership with the Spain and Portugal. So he sent a letter to the head of the Portugal, to the king, obviously, to the emperor, and to the Pope, the Pope was the head of all the nations, the Roman Church. Really massive, monolithic, really powerful, superpower church. Nothing happened. Okay, so all these Ethiopians were so mad, Ethiopians and Eritreans, Abyssinians. Like, how dare this man? He is supposed to be the guardian, the defender of the church, Tawahado Orthodox Church, that we are so much proud of it. Like, all this, our heritage that I'm telling you, like this English heritage, our faith, our values, everything. Then suddenly, he wanted that to be changed into Latin, my friend. Now we could have been a Portuguese. Yeah, obrigado. We could have said obrigado. Or Italian, Laura. Or Spanish. Como estás? Or Tigrinya. Or Portuguese. We could have been wiped out and become slaves, my friend. That's slavery. That's wiping out memory. So the whole Abyssinian people rose against that, and 100,000 people, I think more than that, were dead. So they based themselves around Almeida, around Adwa. So that was the Catholic first case based in Eritrea and Ethiopia. So you have this Marian Gimbi as well. We have Marian Gimbi. There's a place called in Asmara, Marian Gimbi. That was a prison service. All these people around near the presidential palace. So Marian Gimbi, they call that in Gorgora as well. Okay. So so they deposed from his power. Then they wiped up all the Catholics out of the country, my friend. That's enslaving. Soon after that, slavery officially became as a commodity trade. So you have all this Western Africa slavery. How many blacks, how many African Americans in Brazil, in Europe, in America, the New Land, New World, 12 million, all of them, my friend. Slavery as a big industry, labor, cheap labor, their memory wiped out, their ancestry, everything, their language. New World, now English. We speak English, my friend, now. So that's memory, okay? This is something that you don't joke, my friend, okay? Memory means your identity, your looks, everything about yourself, man. Every code, it's more than this genetic genome project, my friend. You wouldn't rely on that. You wouldn't say like, hey, Mr. Such and such, I look like that. I got that light skin, like, kind of like maybe bastardized with European and Arab or maybe African or with the other people, like, can you please, let me give you this blood and maybe my saliva. Can you tell me which clan did I come from, my grandpas? They tell you, like, maybe if the private business of the owner of the blood bank, of your saliva or all your DNA, microsome, whatever it is, they do all that, let's say, like, based on these core groups of people that we accumulated our data, you must be 10% Chinese, 5% Indian, 10% African, 60% European. Like, they give you that, like, you go to your house and they say, my goodness, I'm gonna, like, hodgepodge of, like, mix it of all these people, like this Greek salad, Sorry, I'm not trying to take a mickey out of people, obviously, this is no joke, but if the person gets moody and he gets a problem with his PC, with his memory, and gives him more really funny data, he's gonna give you wrong thing. That's slavery, my friend. Intellectual slavery, mental slavery, physical slavery. You don't choke, my friend, okay? All this heritage of the names of my ancestors to my family, to my kids and other Eritreans to emulate. The reason why I did research was because our ancestors saved this memory in their oral history, my friend, for 2,000 years against colonizers, against Arabs, against Europeans, against everything. They saved it for us. We write it in letter, in our language, my friend. In Tigrinya, the Europeans don't understand it. The Arabs don't understand it. The Chinese don't understand it. The Indians don't understand it. That's called memory, my friend, okay? You wouldn't go to any DNA bank and tell them, can you tell me my heritage, who I am from? No. I call my mom back home. Now, my dad, my relatives, straight, my friend. I speak that in my language and they tell me everything. That's memory, okay? So you wouldn't mess with such a thing. So, okay, what happened before that? That's a very important thing. So the first initial foundation of the European Roman Empire was with Pliny the Elder. And he was really a very prolific writer, naturalist, geographer. He wrote so many books. So they sent all these Eritrean, Pericles Eritrean down to Adulis, Massawa, everything, to find out trade routes to buy maybe slaves, any spices, and any like ebony wood animals like giraffe, tiger, lion, elephants, elephant tusks, ivory. Our area was densely populated with animals in jungle and forest. If you go to Foro area, Zula area, Adulis area, that was jungle, my friend. You wouldn't even move around that area, because you will be eaten by hyenas, tigers, lions, and all these elephants, densely populated with animals. That was near Dahlak and Adulis, Zula, of Foro, Haito. That's where people were exporting elephant tusks, ivory to everywhere, Middle East, Far East, Europe, everything. So these Pericles Eritrean, which Eritrean means Eritrea, they came for trade expedition there. They found out, so that was Pliny the Elder at that time, okay? So when they come around the area, they did, so this is memory, okay? So they named some of the areas. So Elea means Dahlak, Anfale means Hamfile, Saba means Grar, whereas Grara, Grar in Masawa, Grar? Idioro Diocrakio in Samhar, okay? Barne in Sabaye, Asab means Sabaye, they call it Sabaye. Qorao, Haito, okay? So these people, now the first Roma Empire during the Pliny, the Elder, okay? So that's we are the lords of our place, my friend. Of course, we were doing partnership, everything. But we are still the key holders, the driving seat of our land, sea, and all our place, okay? No slave. That's memory again, okay? So the Council of Nicaea is a later stage in 325. So go fast forward to First Empire of the Roman Empire, nearly 100 BC, during the Enda. That was Macedonia. So we have names like Makedda. Makedda name came from Macedonia. So that's memory, my friend. All this, so many millennia, thousands of memory, that's called our collective memory that we pride upon so much, with pride, my friend. Independence, with freedom, with so much self-confidence. That's memory, not slaves, my friend. We don't give nobody to be on the driving seat of our mind, our thinking, our looks, our brain, our intellectual, everything, our land, sea, everything. Okay, so this is called memory. So there are two problems with memory, mental health problems. One is when you have a lot of accumulated trauma, slavery, colonization, a lot of really negative problems in life. That's called mental health problem with the memory, because so much pain. The other one is collective memory. If you've been enslaved for 300 years, that's trauma, my friend. You wouldn't go nowhere. You wouldn't have a place to go to Africa. You don't know who you go to. You don't know the people. They don't know you. Of course, they could be like, you are their brother and sister. So don't give that key to nobody, my friend. So, because to come back to my original point, all these Chinese people coming to Eritrea to train our use of diplomacy, international relations, training. They train us about their value, but we train ourselves, our memory, okay, our collective memory, things that we have inherited from ancestors, our books, our faith, our religion, our way of thinking, our linguistic, everything, our music, our language, our land, our sea. That's diplomatic skill, my friend. We train to our youth, okay? No Chinese people, no European people, no Arabs, as my friend, okay? So I was really kind of like close yesterday with the news. This is the conclusion, okay? So, hey, Mr. Chinese diplomatic corps, not against you. I'm against of our own officers and officials. I do disagree with them because we are actually selling our values, our services to the whole globe, not the Chinese people training us. This is what I'm doing. Again, of course, we need the Chinese, we need the Japanese, we need the Indians, all the global nations. But when it comes training about our international relations, we should do it ourselves. The Chinese are independent people, and we are actually independent people. So we should do the customer service, selling our services, our banking, our economy, our land, natural resources, our services, everything. We are ourselves, and the Chinese have to sell theirs. Thank you very much, and that's what's up to it. It's really long facts, but I thought to include everything. Thank you very much.